All right, so I have two Teslas, obviously, and a gravel driveway. The good old question of whether you need to plow gravel or not, who knows? I just don't want to deal with a pile of rocks eventually. But this Tesla's here, and my wife's like, where's my car? I'm like, what do you mean, where's your car? It's right down the end of the driveway. I was wondering why you parked there before. She's like, I didn't park it there. I parked it up here. I'm like, no, you didn't. I didn't move the car. The car was there when I looked out the window, and I said, wow, that's a funny place for her to park. And she's like, no, I plugged it in over here. I'm like, no, you didn't. The plug is right there. And then you look at the plug, and the plug is like broken off at the gums here. So that's garbage. And the car's there. And I don't know why the car is there. I don't know how it got there, but I've got lots of cameras. And we're going to find out. And it does make sense that the car is down there, and you see the charging port is like obviously open because the charger's broken off in it. I don't even know if the damn thing is going to work now. Yeah. And the car is also electric, so for me to touch that, I think I'm going to need rubber gloves or something so I don't shock the crap out of myself. But let's see how the car ended up here. And just for practical purposes, we've never used the summon feature or anything like that, so I wouldn't even know how to do it. This thing has a mind of its own. All right, here I will walk you through just what happened based on my security cameras. My wife dropped the kids off at school. She backs up the hill, parks the car, and when I say hill, it's not really a big hill, but she gets out. The other Tesla behind her is plugged in currently, so she walks to the other Tesla, unplugs the Model 3, which is the two-wheel drive version, brings the plug up to the front, and then plugs it in to the Model Y. Once it's plugged in, this is after she parks it, the mirrors folded and everything because she walked away from the car. Then she walks up the hill, goes inside. Again, I use hill very lightly, walks inside, and not long thereafter, you get this. We discovered the car when we went to go get lunch, and I went to check the Sentry mode, and of course, because the battery was low, Sentry mode didn't end up recording, so I don't have the in-car footage from the event. And here is the unit as it's getting pulled off of my house. That's a two-wheel drive, and she's driving. What? She wants me to take my suitcase out. It's funny, I just tried to... Car actually, while I was sitting in it, just tried moving again while in park. And I had to hit the front brakes to stop it. So that doesn't make any sense, because if it was just sliding, right, hitting the front brakes doesn't do anything because there's no traction. There's got to be some sort of hill release or something like that is not holding the way it's supposed to. I don't know. But I don't feel comfortable like leaving it here, even though it's not really a slope, but I don't want to hit my other car. It can't be that slippery. I'm driving in reverse up a... And again, it's not exactly Slickville here. Stay. All right, so it's up there now. Here's where I'm confused. I mean, we're not talking like an epic slope here. And obviously, you can see the snow is not super slick. But Why did it stop there? Like, I wonder if it's got a parking brake that went bad. That could be the only thing I could think of. Because it relies on the rear brakes, but why not, if it's all motor, or 4 motors, why doesn't it all lock up? I got this little carnage action over here. And it's not really that slick, and it turns out that this isn't the first time it's happened. I went online and just typed in, trying to figure out what the broken part is, and a lot of people have had this problem. This one doesn't have any audio, but this one had a kid in the car. They left the one child in the car, walked up to the front door, and then the car went sliding down the hill. The pattern that you're seeing here is all of these videos take place shortly after the cars are parked. So I don't know if it's a design flaw or actually a failure on the car. Otherwise, every Tesla would be sliding down a hill, sort of like iguanas falling out of trees in Florida when it gets cold.
Lucas Frunick shovels snow from his driveway, but then his Tesla moves.
Kind of like caught me off guard and just watched it roll down.
For an all-wheel drive or an all-motor one to slide, and then the one that's a Model 3, which is a 2-wheel drive, which is just a rear motor not to slide, is weird. But again, it's not, this is not like ice underneath. This is just snow that fell last night. And I'm very confused. I'm very perplexed by this. Because also, Newton, right? Objects in motion want to stay in motion. It's sliding at the same, the hill keeps going, right? It's the same angle for the most part the whole way. Why did it stop down there? It's the same snow. It's got less traction, if anything, because it's now moving. It even happened when I pulled back in. Newton, objects at rest want to stay at rest. I parked it right here, and I stopped. My wife got out of the car. I stayed there. And while my foot was off the brake, it started sliding again, and then it stopped when I applied the front brake, which is weird. It's almost like it has too much weight behind it, because it doesn't happen with any of the other cars that I've ever parked here on this hill. It could be that it's got too much weight behind it, that the rear brake alone can't hold it. But again, it's at rest. It's not, when I stop and it slides, it's at rest and not moving, and all of a sudden decides to start moving. That is an interesting situation. It is what it is. It's weird if you can't even like park it in your own driveway now. Like what do I like? And I've had this driveway for 4 years with several Teslas, and never had to worry about chocking the wheel so that my car doesn't go sliding on factory tires when parked. I'm lucky it didn't hit my gates. Lucky it didn't go into the street. Lucky it didn't run somebody over, because that would be my insurance claim then. Very frustrating. Tesla, I'd love a response.